I'm the Cornbread Diva, and we're going to be making cornbread today because the master chef told me it was time I get in front of the camera and teach y'all a trick or two about how I do my cooking. He's tired of being the one always on this side of the camera. So we'll see how this is going to turn out. We're going to do a protein-packed cornbread because if there's anything I enjoy, it's eating good and as good as we possibly can. So this particular cornbread that we're going to be doing today is protein-packed, like I said, and it's got normally has 10 grams of protein. We're going to be doing 11 grams because we're adding an extra egg. Now, as most of you know that follow me, I have chickens, and they're out here today causing a ruckus, and you might hear them on the video because we haven't fed them in more than 24 hours, which is okay. Most chickens, you typically can go about 2 days without feeding them and they're okay, but we kind of have an obsession and we spoil our chickens, and so they've been fed every day for a while. So now they're really hungry because we kind of ignored them. We had something to do on Thursday and we came in on Friday. We were really tired and we haven't bothered them a lot. So today they're really making a ruckus out there. So you may hear them. But anyway, we'll try to get this done fairly quick so that we can go out there and give our chickens some love and attention and get them fed because they're probably just as hungry as I am at this point. But anyway, let's get started on the cornbread. And let me teach you guys a thing or two about making cornbread if you wanted to know. The first thing that I think is most important is the pan. I use an iron skillet here, or a cast iron pan. Sometimes my terminology is not the best, but it is what it is. Look, I don't do this for a living, but I do it as a hobby, and I love to eat, so hey, it pays dividends, right? I like to preheat my pan, and that was taught to me by my grandmother, my aunt, and my mother did it. It's a good thing to do it. I think it makes a real difference in your cornbread and how it turns out, particularly when you're getting it out of the pan. So what I do is I take some olive oil and just put it in the pan, put a little bit of oil in the pan, get it nice and oily in there, and then you can rub it around with your hand or take a cloth, or you can, some people get real professional and they'll take a brush. Now, those people I just say, hey, you're a little bit too good for my taste. I take a rag and rub it in there. Get it nice and oiled around on the bottom and on the top. And then we're going to put it in the oven. This particular mix calls for the oven to be at 350 degrees. So we're going to put it at 350 degrees, and I'm going to put it in the oven for about 5 minutes to get it good and preheated before we start putting the mix in there. So we're going to go and do that and put it in the oven. And I'm going to take it over there, put it in the oven because I've already preheated my oven for just a little bit. So I'll put it in there and let that preheat for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back to you and we'll mix the ingredients up and go from there. Well, it sounds like our pan is done, so we're preheating the pan. I'm going to go get the pan out of the oven. Turn our timer off because that thing will drive me batty if I don't turn that thing off. I don't know who designs ovens, but a lot of times the controls they put on these things will just drive you wacky. So we've got our ingredients here. We've got the Kodak cake mix, got my mixing bowl. Got to mention, I haven't mentioned yet because I just started this video, but I do sell Pampered Chef. I haven't sold anything yet because I really haven't been trying at all. And I'm about to become completely inactive with it unless I sell something by the end of this month. So I may be featuring some of these products here with Pampered Chef, and any of you guys or gals have a hankering for Pampered Chef and you want to order anything right now, go ahead and order because this is the time to do it. Especially if you want to support the Cornbread Diva and you'd like to see some more cooking from the Cornbread Diva. But honestly, I've had Pampered Chef stuff, gosh, probably since maybe even before I got out of college, and I really have enjoyed it and been using their stuff for a very, very long time. But these mixing bowls are great. They still have those. I'm using the glass jars, this thing right here. It does both dry and liquid measuring things, so you don't need multiple measuring cups. Everything that happens is just really great. But at any rate, we've got melted butter, we've got milk, and we've got farm fresh eggs from our girls Clarabelle and Nugget. And we've actually even gotten to the point finally, after having them for just over a year and a half, where we can tell which egg comes from which girl. So that's pretty cool. I like that. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and put in the eggs here. And magic trick of the camera here, I've already beat up or broke the eggs, because if I had some shells I had to get out, that would have been a horrible thing to have to do on the camera. So we'll pull the eggs in there, get those there, and then we'll pour in our milk. And we did 3 eggs because we're beefing this up with some extra protein, and we'll do 2 cups of milk. Get that in the mixing bowl. And then we're going to go for our melted butter, and we've got 3/4 a cup of melted butter. That'll go in here. And then we'll do our mix. And there's about, I believe, 2 cups of mix in this box that we'll be pouring in. Pretty easy mix to pour in. And it smells delicious. A lot of these whole grain mixes that you get, some of them just look and smell horrible. But this one's seems pretty good. Now, again, I've never had this mix, so I don't know what to expect from it, but hopefully it'll be good things. My favorite cornbread mix actually comes from the Gatlinburg area at a place called Kate's Cove. They have a real mill up there, and they make absolutely pure cornmeal. I love that stuff, but it's really kind of hard to get unless you go to Gatlinburg, which I don't go very often. And I tried to have some of that. I was going to buy some of it the other day, and the bags are sold in 5-pound bags, and they're really relatively decent price. But this day and age, we're so used to getting free shipping, or at least low cost shipping. That stuff to ship it was like $16 on ground. I'm like, I'm not paying $16 to ship anything. I don't know if I would even pay $16 to have the Master Chef shipped down here, and that would be a bargain. So I don't know about that, but anyway, maybe I'll get it there at some point in time. So anyway, we're just stirring this up really good. And it's turning kind of brown, because a lot of your whole wheat cornbread mixes will be brown. That one that I get at Kate's Cove, I think it's been quite some time since I've been able to make it. It had a little different color to it, and some of the more mature folks that were raised in the cornbread era with me didn't much like that, because they like a certain color to their cornbread. But they like the cornbread, so if you can kind of get over the color difference being a little different from what you were raised on, I think you'll end up really liking the cornbread. But you know, a lot of things are changing as we learn more about styles and things that really are better for us. So, you know, you just have to kind of get used to that from what we were raised with and grew up with. So, stir this just a little bit more. Really telling me, I think the more I stir this, it's not even that thick, that I need to do more arm exercises, because this is really wearing my arm out. I think these days of caring for chickens and not doing much else, it's not really, you know, back in the day they worked on the farm and they really stayed in shape, but I think their farms were a little bigger or something. They had more territory to cover, because I've been getting a lot of exercise. I don't know. I need a bigger farm to check into that. Something. So anyway, alright, let's get this stirred up just a little bit more. Put some feast on it. You really want to get some of the lumps out, and it's turning more of a yellow now. I guess I could kind of show that. I think that's one of the tricks I learned from working with the Master Chef, is to show some of the food items that you're cooking. So it is turning more of a yellowish color, which is good. So people won't be repelled as they're trying to eat well and eat more protein packed items. They won't be repelled by the color, so that's good. Alright. Shake that spoon off a little bit. And now we'll pour this into our preheated cast iron here. And that's one thing I love about these bowls, is they have the lip on them and they have the holder. You can hold them here, because goodness knows I need all the help I can get. I spill just about everything I can spill, and some things that you can't even spill, I spill them anyway. So we're going to fill them up, and that's making a nice little cover. I'll bring it over there to the camera so you can see it a little better, but it's filling it up really nicely and making just a pretty cornbread. That's gonna be real nice. I mean, it's just coming out smooth, and couldn't ask for a better looking cornbread, really and truly. Probably have some extra, and that's probably a result of putting the extra egg and the extra milk, because with the extra protein level that you put in there, it did call for some more milk. So I probably needed a larger skillet, but that's all I had. So hey, you got to work with the tools you have. So that's just what it's about. All right, let me bring this over there and I'll show it to the camera a little bit before we put it in the oven there. See how pretty that shows out? And it's heavy. I'm telling you, either it's heavy or my muscles are weak. Probably a combination of both. So I'm going to put that in the oven. And of course, silly me, I didn't check how long it needs to go in there before I left the box there, before I got started. So I have to go over there and look so I can tell you how long we need to cook this thing. Thank goodness they print the directions on here, because if it wasn't for that, I'd be lost. So 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to put it in about 35 minutes since we did an extra boost up of the protein and there's a little more ingredients in there. So we'll run it for 35 minutes and then we'll come back and show you how it turned out, and we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I'm going to go outside and feed those chickens because they're just going crazy. So I know they want some food. So we'll talk to you later and we'll be right back. All right, our cornbread's done, so I'm going to go get our cornbread out of the oven, and we'll bring it back and take a look at it. All right, here we go. Now we oiled our skillet ahead of time, so hopefully now that we've got this turned over, we're going to just give it a few good taps here, and we're going to be able to get the cornbread right out of the skillet. And look at that. Fantastic. That's going to be some wonderful cornbread. I hope so. Again, this is the first time I've had this one, so we'll see how it's going to taste. I'm going to fix some of it right here, and we'll just get this done and see how it's going to turn out. I hope it's going to be good. They say cornbread warm is the best way to have it, and that's probably true. I don't know about you, but I don't think I would much enjoy a cold piece of cornbread. So while I'm cutting this up, let me mention to you that this episode is brought to you by Applecopter, which is my favorite source for things such as cups, t-shirts, and hats, and aprons. You may notice I don't have an apron on today. Applecopter will be providing my apron for me for the Cornbread Diva. But it's not here yet, but it will be here shortly, so just look in the comments and we'll give you a link right to Applecopter, your source for everything you need, promotional items, and fun things. Alright, look at this. This is a great looking piece of cornbread. Boy, it was warm too. You can see the smoke coming off of that thing. We need a fire extinguisher. That looks really awesome. I think I'm pretty impressed with this here. So, it looks pretty good. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and you're able to get something out of it. And maybe if you don't go buy the Kodak brand of mix, you buy you another mix, or just make yours from scratch. Maybe we'll do some cornbread from scratch another day. That'll be an interesting one to make for sure. But look at that, it's so warm that the butter's just melting right on there. That's the best kind of cornbread to have. Cornbread's so hot, the butter melts right on top. Very nice. Lots of butter. Life lived best with butter. That's my saying. I like it. Look at that, just smooths right on. Give this thing a taste here. Ah. Pretty good, pretty good. The mix said, by adding the extra egg and the extra milk, it was an extra moist cornbread, which is the way I like mine. It turned out to be more of a cake-ish cornbread, which I like. So, pretty good. Thank you for watching today's video. Enjoy, and help us share more about the Cornbread Diva. Give us a like, and spread the word. Cornbread makes the world go round.